Welcome to Castle Wars, the epic 1v1 card game that pits two kingdoms against each other in a battle for supremacy. The goal? Build your castle to a height of 100, or reduce your opponent's castle to a pile of rubble. Each player takes a turn playing a card. These cards can bolster your defenses, smash through your opponent's walls, or unleash powerful magical effects. The game is meant to be quick, with rounds lasting no more than 5 to 10 minutes. When you first enter the game and take a seat, you will be presented with 3 tiles. The play zone, which is where you will play cards from your hand. The discard zone, where you can recycle cards you don't require to draw more. And the deck zone, where you will set up and manage your deck before each game. To begin a game, first click the New Deck button. A new window will pop up, which lists every card in the game with a slider that ranges from 0 to 5. You are limited to a maximum of 5 copies of each card. You can use this window to customize your own deck between games, but for this tutorial, let's go ahead and use one of the pre-made decks. These may change over time as we update the game, so don't worry if they aren't exactly the same as what you see listed here. For now, let's go ahead and click Stock Plus. This is a well-balanced, all-around deck that will be perfect for your first few games. Once you've spawned your deck in, make sure it's placed in the center of the deck zone, and when you're ready to start a game, click the Lock button. The deck zone will quickly scan through your deck and make sure it is legal. If your deck is not legal, you should receive an error message that will give you a hint as to what went wrong. Adjust your deck as need be, and then try again. Once both players have locked in their decks, the game will begin. When the game begins, each player will automatically draw 8 cards. As you can see here, the cards will automatically resize depending on if you can afford them or not. If the card is larger, it means you have enough resources to afford it. If the card is smaller, it means it is too expensive to play right now. Cards that you can't afford can either be saved for later as you build up resources, or discarded to draw new cards. Each card will have a name, a resource icon, a cost, and an effect. All cards have a description field that goes into more detail about the exact effects of the card. You can access this by either right-clicking on the card, or by hovering over the card for a few seconds. Each player will have their own resource tracker. Your tracker will be positioned on the left side of your screen by default, and will have your name written at the top. Your opponent's tracker will default to the right side of your screen, and will have their name written at the top. These can be dragged to other locations as desired. The top 3 boxes, represented by the colors green, red, and blue, indicate your resources and your worker count. The icons with the construction helmet, soldier's helmet, and wizard's hat represent your workers, while the icons with the bricks, swords, and crystals represent your resources. The black box represents each player's wall and castle height. The gold box represents magical buffs. These will glow white when a player activates them by playing certain cards. At the beginning of your turn, you will be given a number of resources equal to the number of workers you have. These resources are what you use to play your cards. Let's summarize everything with an in-game example. At the beginning of your turn, you will be given a number of resources equal to the number of workers you have. These resources are what you use to play your cards. If using the current setup that you see on screen, the blue player has 2 builders, 3 recruits and 3 mages. This means, at the start of Blue's turn, he will gain 2 bricks, 3 weapons, and 3 crystals. Your resources continuously stack, so there's no need to spend them until you're ready to use them. The resources you gain are what you use to play cards. Players who fall behind on building up their resources may find themselves quickly overwhelmed. Some cards will let you hire more workers, others will let you steal them directly from your opponent. Building up your wall and castle should always be a priority. Wall height has no direct effect on victory, but is generally cheaper to build than your castle. It is the shield that will let you absorb the tax while building up your castle. While it may be tempting to save all your resources to build up your wall, remember that building your wall brings you no closer to victory. Only by reaching your castle to 100, or by demolishing your opponent's castle, will you win the game. Attacking is also a vital strategy in keeping pressure on your opponent. Damage will always hit the wall first before hitting the castle. There are a few cards that do have an exception to this rule. If the damage you're dealing exceeds the health of the castle wall, it will transfer onto the castle. No damage is wasted. Castle Wars is a game that is best learnt by just playing it. Play a few rounds, and you'll quickly have a feel for the game. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below, and if you like this game, please be sure to like and favorite it on the workshop. It helps our game get noticed, and motivates us to keep creating.